DeMeco, when it comes to the offensive line and the way they're run block right now, what difference do you see in the way that they're coming off and playing together as five, as one?
There's no difference with our offensive line. They've been doing a good job all year in the run game. Guys are staying connected, playing physical, and that's what we expect from them. Just stay connected, finish your blocks, play to the best of your ability. That's good enough for us.
You look at how New England uses their two running backs, Stevenson and Henderson. What have you kind of seen from him? Henderson seems like he's come along here on the back part of the season.
Yeah, both backs have a ton of respect for. Both guys are really they run the ball really well. Starting with Henderson, where he sets himself apart is just the breakaway speed, the home run speed. Definitely can get out on the edge and really take it to the house. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to do a great job of tackling him. Just a really fast, explosive player. And then Stevenson, and this guy is just all around, just stud. Runs the ball, physical. You know, his ability to escape the pocket. I think it's really doesn't get talked about much, but his athletic ability, his ability to escape the pocket, has been really clutch for them. He's made some big runs to really hurt a lot of defenses, so we have to be conscious of that. But he's making good decisions, good young player, has a really bright future, can throw the ball at all three levels of the field very well. So they do a good job around him. I think it helps first and foremost with how they run the football. They do a really good job of staying committed to the run game, mixing up their personnel groupings, giving you a lot of different looks, a lot of different runs, and they play physical up front. So they're going to make you, stop the run first, and then you have a quarterback who can drop back, and he can go through his progressions really well and make good decisions with the ball. So it's a really well-coached unit, I would say. You watch the tape, that's what I see. Very disciplined, well-coached team, and those guys execute really well.
Coach, go ahead, Sam.
You're facing Stephon again for the first time since he left the team this offseason. It seems like kind of over the 2 years, well, when he came to the offseason last year and now this year, the secondary has taken a big jump with the Texans. Do you feel like his presence, the practice battles, the advice kind of helped this group kind of over the years?
I think with our secondary group, our guys are just always eager to go out and get better. No matter who they're going against, our guys they're competitive guys. Steph has done a great job there in New England, making some plays for them, being very quarterback friendly, which Steph has done, his entire career, run a lot of option choice routes, and he's very explosive after he catches the football. So another guy we got to make sure we have eyes on and make sure we're doing a great job of tackling and covering him really well.
You and Vrabel are both former NFL linebackers. What skills that are required to play that position do you find valuable as a head coach?
As you play the linebacker position, I think the thing that for me that helps you, in coaching is as a linebacker, you're responsible for more than one thing. As a head coach, you have more than one thing on your plate all the time. When linebackers, of course, you have to step up and you have to play the run game. You have to know the front. You have to know run fits, which can be very intricate, and it changes a lot based on gap pulls, different schemes. So you have to be able to adjust and adapt on the fly in the run game, and also you're required to play in the passing game as well, which is a lot of different details depending on the calls and what you're running. Linebackers have to account for, covering receivers, covering running backs. You have to do it all. Same as a head coach. You're kind of in the middle of everything. You have to be able to do a lot of different things. You have to be able to be trustworthy, smart, accountable, and that's what the linebacker position requires. So Vrabel has done a great job of leading this team. He did a great job of leading the Titans when he was there. Really smart coach. His team is always well prepared. They always play physical. Right? So it's a tough challenge. He's done a good job there, having his team in the position they are in right now based on where they were last year. See his leadership. It's really taking an effect over that building the entire team, and they play that way. So he's done an outstanding job right there. I have a ton of respect for Vrabel.
You talk about the secondary and being eager to improve no matter who they face. What's that internal competition between them as far as I know they're a team and they're rooting for each other, but just kind of like that friendly internal competition between them?
Yeah, our secondary guys, like I said earlier, they're competitive guys. They're not just competing, with other people. They're competing with themselves first and foremost, right? And it's a challenge amongst our groups to see who can make the most plays. And I love that. It's a healthy competition amongst our guys, and that really drives those guys to be better. And the way they work out on the practice field is second to none. So the success that they have is not surprising to me because they put the work in the right way.
When you look at how y'all, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kim. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. What is it about the Patriots' defense that makes them so good against the run? What do they do well?
Starting with the Patriots defense, the thing that they do well is that the two interior D tackles, right? You can't talk about their defense without talking about how those guys play. Barmore and Milton, they do an outstanding job. Explosive, physical guys do a great job, run game and passing game. So it starts there with the interior guys, and they are physical up front. That's one thing I said. They do a great job of setting the edges. You're going to have to earn every yard that you get in the run game. It's not going to be easy. That's why they're good in the run game. Tough, physical guys at the defensive line spot and at the second level. Those guys play very hard, play very physical. So they make you earn it, which is what you have to go do at this time of year.
I was going to ask you about the defense too, but
Thanks, Brandon.
in terms of how y'all won the game this past Monday, like how much changes week to week and how much of just the way y'all won is like the formula, aside from obviously turning over the ball, but y'all ran the ball well, you were good on third down, obviously had defensive plays. Like how much of that is just like just a straight up formula versus having to change from week to week?
For me, at this time of year, however you have to win games, it changes each week based on who you're playing and what are their strengths and how do you minimize the strengths of your opponent. So this week it probably look different, based on what we do schematically, but our style of play, it doesn't change. No matter who we play against, our style of play will never change, and that's just playing fast, playing physical, swarming. That's who we are. That's what we do. That doesn't change, and that travels wherever we have to go.
Coach, if any changes, practice, just ball security, I know that was a little bit of an issue there in Pittsburgh. Does that emphasis change, or is that something you guys handle all the time?
No changes, right? Just making sure we're aware of what's going on and making sure we handle it the right way. I know CJ and Jake, they'll do a great job of being on that this week, and I think no one feels more bad about that than CJ. I know he'll get that corrected, get it fixed, and he'll be ready to roll this week.
Go ahead, Christine.
If you had to describe your pass rush to someone who had never seen you guys play, how would you describe it?
Oh, I'll leave that up to you with all the beautiful words that you have for us. If I had to describe our pass rush to someone who haven't seen it before, I would just say, oh man, a lot of different terms. But I would just say, you're looking for four guys who, it's like four Tasmanian devils just wrecking everything that's in front of them. That's how I look at our guys. They are fast, they are physical, and the way they get off the ball, the way they collapse the pocket, they're a terror, and it's fun to watch those guys, and that's what makes our defense go. Like, why are we able to rush four guys and play the way we play? It's not because of I'm such a great coach. It's because we got really great players up front. And this game will always be about the players, and those guys, they set the table for us, for our entire team. You good?
A lot of people are impressed that you're able to have such a ferocious pass rush with mostly just doing the four players, not blitzing a lot. I think even Tomlin mentioned that. What is it about your guys that allow you to have that success with just the four-man rush?
Yeah, the thing about our guys is, it starts with their coach. Like Coach Rod Wright has done an outstanding job of helping, each and every guy in that room improve their craft. They are constantly after it, whether it's staying after practice, walking through, like studying film to see what are their moves, how can they counter off of what they've been doing, like having DeMeco and his experience in the room to be able to help the younger guys as well.
Our next game and put our best foot ahead of us, and try to get a dub in a harsh environment against a really good football team. So, it's just something on our mind that we need to get done, and that's all our focus is right now.
When it comes to adjusting to Nico potentially missing a game, what do you see from the other receivers and kind of when you don't have someone like that spreading the ball around using lots of people?
Yeah, we're hoping Nico can play and be able to play this game, but if not, we've had this experience before, played a couple games this year without him, sadly, but all our guys are talented and we have a lot of depth in that room, and I'm the most confidence in everybody in there, to get the job done. So hopefully Nico is all right. But I think if not, we just gotta. Nothing else we can do. Just go forward and try to build with the guys we have.
CJ, all your teammates tell us the same thing. You're the same guy always, never too high, never too low. Man, how did you learn that throughout your football career? How does that help you through ups, downs, anything in between?
Yeah, I've learned a quote: "Don't love the love, don't hate the hate." Like things be up and down throughout your life, your career, whatever it is. I think that's just how life works in general. But especially in the position I'm in, everything is, criticized and everything is talked about. So, I've learned to, to stay what's important to me. That's my faith, my family, and then my teammates, and then myself, how I view myself. So, through failures and successes in this game, from time I've been 16, with somewhat of a public eye, and when I went to Ohio State, same thing. Like they would love me one week, hate me the next. So, I'm well equipped with what is going on, and I'm excited to play this next game and just kind of keep the same even kill.
Hey, CJ, how much does it help to go into Pittsburgh, a really hostile from a fan perspective environment, all the noise, all the things, to start the playoffs that way? Because in the past you guys have started at home. How does it help you continue to be able to have success and confidence on the road?
Yeah, I think it helps tremendously.
How important that might be in case Nico's not able to go.
Yeah, the run game is always important. It's always a thing we need to do if we want to, have a great play action and draw back pass. Be able to establish the run, and I think the way Woody and Chubb and Jawar are setting our blocks up, but I think it starts with Jake and those boys up front. Setting the IDs the right way, getting movement. All being on one accord. Is definitely helpful. So. They're doing a great job up there. If we want to, go deep in these playoffs, that's what we'll need every week.
Does extra work go in with the center, like you and Jake? Like we saw y'all on the sideline during the game. Is there more of an emphasis on that during the week after having some troubles in the game, or do you just kind of go about it the way you always have?
We'll go about it the way we always have, but we'll be extra attentive on that. So it's good that we learn from it, move on and fix the issue and keep it going.
What do you think it is about Christian Kirk that allowed him to stay locked in and stay the course despite, having a tough time during the regular season, to be able to have a game like he did on Monday night?
Yeah, he's my locker roommate, so I get to talk to him, a bunch, and then we're really close off the field. But I think that's a great question for him. But if I were to answer it for him, I would say his faith, his support system, his God being first in that, and then, his wife, his daughter, his parents, his sisters. So, he has a great support system that, is close around him. And then, of course, we try to uplift him as well as teammates. So I think if I could answer for him, I don't want to, but that's what I would say, maybe attest to that.
CJ, the Patriots defense, what do you see some of the characteristics? We saw them really attack the pocket a lot with the Chargers game going after Herbert. What are some things you've seen from them that kind of are hallmarks of their defense?
Yeah, they play all on one accord. They do a really good job of playing together. Their D-line is really good. They have two really good tackles, really three. And then their ends are really stout and good. Played against those guys a bunch in my career, so they're very talented. And then you got Davis and Gonzo on the outside, two really good DBs who make a lot of plays, and their safeties kind of do the same thing. So a lot of respect for that team, and the Vrabel's got those guys, together, rowdy. They're playing together, seeing ball, getting ball. They're doing everything the right way. So it's going to be a challenge for us, and got to just do the right things this week, preparing for them.
Vrabel and DeMeco, as former players, what do you kind of see from the way the teams have kind of taken on their personalities, watching the Patriots, the way they play, and of course with what your perspective is with DeMeco?
Yeah, I think Vrabel is a guy. He's a former player, somebody who understands, what it takes to take a team to the Super Bowl, and was really good in Tennessee for a long time as a head coach. Took that team far in the playoffs there. So, just doing the same things I think as he's doing now from the outside looking in. And I know, Steph being there, it's a brother of mine. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but every time I did talk to him this offseason or a little bit this season, he raves about their organization and how they. Professional, make sure they do the things the right way. So, it's a great organization, also, a great coach and what they got going on.
Hey, can you talk about, early this year, you got lots of questions about the offensive line and the struggles. Can you talk about the way they're playing now, how it does, or if it has helped your comfort level because of just where the line has been playing of late?
Yeah, they've been playing great. Pass protection has been amazing. run blocking, like we just talked about, has been great. So, it's something that I'm getting, well equipped with, and I'm, starting to feel comfortable back there and, make plays. And, I think they're doing a great job and IDing things and, just trying to make sure, we're all on one accord. It's, if we're all wrong, we're right. If we're all right, we're right. So, try to just stay with that mindset. But, yeah, they're doing an amazing job from left all the way to right, and a lot of different experiences in there from, Tay being a rookie and then Trent, being a Super Bowl champ, Titus, being in the league for a long time, Jake, same thing, and Ed, the same thing. So, they're doing a great job, and Blake has come in and do a really good job for us as well.
It's your third time in this situation. Where do you think you've grown the most heading into it for the third time?
I would say just, taking the plays as they come, flushing the bad and the good, learning from both, and just, moving forward. And I think, even the game on Monday, got a lot of adversity, turned the ball over, and then next play, they're putting the ball back in my hands, and I feel like I answered the bell when my number was called. So, I think it'll be that again this week. Hopefully take care of the ball, better this game. But, I think when it comes to, adversity, things are going to happen. You see, I watched almost all the wildcard games because we played, the last game. Everybody, made mistakes. Everybody had that moment where it's like, dang, we're messing this up. And then the teams who find a way to, fight through that and keep going were the teams that came out on top. So, that's just playoff football. So, we're staying our head down, working this week, preparing for that. But, I think, we're doing a great job of it, and you got to just keep that going. So that's what I'm learning, is just one play at a time, take the good with the bad, and just keep rolling.
Last two.
Do you feel like this is y'all's as Landry mentioned, y'all been in the same spot over the last 3 years. Does it feel like to y'all this is y'all's best chance to actually do it, given the adversity that y'all overcome and the kind of season that y'all had specifically this year?
Every game is separate on its own. I think last 2 years, if you asked me the same question, I would have said we would have won. We don't ever go into a game thinking otherwise, that's just not who the Texans are. But, yeah, every game we want to win, every opportunity, if it was the Super Bowl, if it was the first game of the year or preseason, Coach always, eggs us on, like, it doesn't matter who, when, where, why, or how, we want to get a dub. So, I think that's a great mindset to have. But, yeah, we've been in this position before. I think we've learned from those things, and now it's time to go put it on tape because, we can talk about it until we're blue in the face, but until you go do it is when it really matters.
You just talked about Steph and your relationship. You're playing against him for the first time since he left in the offseason. What's that going to be like to see him on the field again, and what impact have you seen him have on this Patriots team?
Yeah, Steph is one of the best teammates I've ever had in my career, in my life. Like, he's been amazing to my life, not just on the field but off as well. I think he's, super, teammate oriented. He wants to be around the guys. He wants to, do stuff for the guys. He wants to be, one of the captains in the room. And I think I don't know if he's a captain or not. I'm sure he is, but he's one of the best teammates I've ever had. So he's brought that swag there, and he got the guys rolling around him. But will always be a brother of mine, always be a friend, and I'm just excited to see his career, go where it's gone, and for him to get paid like he did is dope to see. So I think he has a lot of great ball ahead of him. So it's always be a brother of mine.
Last one, DJ.
What do you think it kind of means to see like DeMeco as the head coach? He was with the Texans as a player, helping get to places they had never been before, winning divisions, things of that nature, and now getting here, doing similar things. What do you think it means to see a player come back to the team that he played for in a coaching role and help try to get them to places that they haven't been before?
Yeah, I'm sure it means a lot to him. I'm sure he's prideful in that and wants to, do the right things. I don't want to answer that for him, but, I think he would say that, it means a lot. And, he wants to win and he wants to do it, every week. And I think, that's the standard that he has, and he holds everybody to that standard. So I think he's done a good job at it. We got to just keep this going and, back whatever he tells us, because, he's ahead of everything. And you just keep that rolling because I think, he does want to, take this team to places where we haven't been.
Thank you.
All right, you guys.